I do think the Big Bang Theory was sexist. Um, one thing you can use as a metric is the Bechdel test, right? Where two females have to have a conversation that is not about a man in the show. Um, and so looking at the show, I mean, for a long time, you only have Penny, so you don't even have the opportunity to have two women having conversations about something else. And even when they are finally there, it's not really there. I'd have to double review the tapes. And then just little things. I said this in one other video already, but here you have Leonard, who's a nerd. He wears glasses, right? Oh, that's a nerd. And he puts on a tuxedo, and the audience is like, "Ooh, he's not hot, I guess, but he's wearing a tuxedo." And then you have Amy, who also wears glasses, also is kind of in that nerd category, and she's wearing a dress and she's putting on makeup, but we're not elevating her. There's there's laughter happening in relation to her. And then another thing is you have all of these men in the show who have all these different interests, not just women, that they talk about, they have conversations. But primarily, what is Penny? Well, a lot of her talking about her ex, or being with other guys, or sleeping with other guys. It's like, okay. And then you have Amy, who is, the first episode was a Sheldon counterpart, which whereas it was just like the same as Sheldon, and then they like really changed her character. But just kind of like awkward. And then you had Bernadette, who chose to be with Howard, which is its own thing. But then also, she just at least was appearing as though she didn't get the jokes, or seemed very. She was also kind of giving the same vibe as Amy, as being not an airhead, but kind of like they're just not given the same space as the guys. And then you also do have instances of like Howard saying, "Oh, the gals," or when Penny's dad is there and he's like, "Oh, I don't know," saying whatever boomer sexist stuff a dad like him would say. And then we can look at all of the characters, right? So Sheldon is, a narcissist or whatever. And then you have Leonard, who kind of suffers from the kind of like almost like nice guy thing. But then you have Howard, right? Howard, who hits on everyone, who makes pretty lewd comments. He'd give George Costanza a run for his money as far as like being a creep. He often refers to the other ladies as the girls or women folk. And then Raj really is no better. Like, you initially think in the show that Raj is, this guy who's afraid to talk to women, but so he's a guy that is afraid to talk to women. Once he gets drinking and he's drunk, suddenly he can talk to women. And at the beginning, we see he's kind of very crass with the women, very forward and sexist. And you think, oh, it's because he's drunk. He needs to drink a lot in order to talk. But then he's drinking a non-alcoholic beer on a train and is able to put the moves on a woman, but is still a creep And then he's also, when he eats rum cake, which is like, that's not a lot of alcohol, but he's hitting on an FBI agent. And it's like, he's almost worse than Howard, because at least with Howard you know what you're getting, where with Raj he's able to give this illusion to not being a creep until he is. And then there was a whole segment with Howard of Penny calling him out and being a creep, and just like calling him out, and oh, his feelings are hurt, and everybody's like, oh, Howard is so hurt, and it's like, he's a freaking creep. Like, why are we like being cool with this? Well, oh, Penny apologizes, and oh, they're all friends, and I don't know. But yes, I would say the show is sexist. I mean, we're talking in universe reasoning, but it's like, also Chuck Lorre wrote the show. He also wrote 2.5 Men. I enjoyed the show until like that last season. A whole other thoughts on that. But if you see 2.5 Men, like, there's no chance you get the Bechdel test being accomplished with 2.5 Men. So it's just Chuck Lorre. That's how he writes women.